What would happen if your paycheck disappeared this Friday? How many days could your life keep going before the pressure starts creeping in? Not your image, not your salary, not the car in the driveway. Your real wealth is simpler than that. It's how long you can survive without working and still live the life you're living right now. And for most people, that number is way smaller than they want to admit. That's why this matters. There are 4 ways people make money in this world: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. 2 of those usually keep you running in place. The other 2 are where wealth and freedom actually start. In this video, you'll figure out which one you're in, why it feels so hard to escape it, and how to move toward the side where money can keep working even when you don't. But before we get into the 4 categories, you need one story, because once this clicks, everything else makes sense. Imagine a town with a water problem. No plumbing, no running tap. Every family needs water every day, and the town leaders hire 2 men to solve it. The first man, Sam, moves fast. He buys a pair of heavy buckets, sprints to the lake, and starts hauling water from sunrise until dark. It's exhausting, but the money is good. People are grateful. Sam feels proud. He solved the problem. The second man, Daniel, vanishes. Weeks go by, then months. No water deliveries from him. No updates. Sam is secretly thrilled. Less competition. More money. Then Daniel comes back with engineers, laborers, and stacks of pipe. He builds a pipeline from the lake straight into the town. Now water arrives all day, every day. It's cleaner, cheaper, and nobody has to wait for Sam to show up with sore shoulders and 2 metal buckets. The town switches almost overnight. Sam panics. He buys more buckets. He hires cousins. He works earlier, stays later, and pushes harder. But you can't beat a pipeline with more buckets. Daniel doesn't stop there. He takes the same system to another town. Then 5 more. Then bigger cities. He gets paid a tiny amount every time water flows, but water keeps flowing whether he's awake, asleep, traveling, or eating dinner. Sam works harder and harder just to keep income coming in. Daniel builds once and gets paid again and again. So here's the question sitting under this whole video. Are you building a pipeline or are you carrying buckets? Your job is a bucket. Your freelance income is a bucket. Your hourly consulting work is a bucket. And that's not an insult. Buckets matter. They keep you alive while you're building something better. I think this is where a lot of people get confused. They hear ideas like passive income or financial freedom, and suddenly they start resenting the very job feeding them. I used to think that way too. I thought the paycheck was the enemy. I thought if I could just quit, everything would magically open up. It doesn't work like that. The bucket was paying the rent. The bucket was buying groceries. The bucket was giving me breathing room while I learned. So if you're in a job right now, don't hate the bucket. Use it. Carry it with gratitude. Then go home and build the pipeline. Because a bucket can support you, but it can never free you. The moment you stop carrying it, the flow stops. And that brings us to the framework. Picture a simple square divided into 4 boxes. On the left side, employee and self-employed. On the right side, business owner and investor. Each box has its own mindset, language, habits, and risks. People can earn good money in all 4, but they do not build freedom the same way. Let's start with the employee. This is the person who trades time and skill for a paycheck. Maybe it's a software engineer, a nurse, an analyst, a project manager. Solid career, respectable income, predictable routine. What employees usually value most is security, a stable paycheck, benefits, a clear role, a safe path. You can hear it in the way they talk. I'm looking for something stable. I want good benefits. I just need a secure job. And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with that. Employee work is real work. Many employees are smart, disciplined, and incredibly capable. The problem isn't that the work lacks value. The problem is concentration. One employer, one paycheck. One decision made somewhere above you that can suddenly change everything. If that source goes away, the income usually goes with it. And then there are taxes. In many countries, employees get paid in the least flexible order possible. Earn, get taxed, spend what's left. You don't even get the first shot at your own money. Now move to the second box, self-employed. This is where many ambitious people go after they realize the employee path feels limited. They leave the job. They become independent, freelancer, consultant, solo agency owner, therapist with a private practice, designer, contractor, local shop owner. At first, it feels like freedom. No boss, no office politics, no one telling you when to clock in. But a lot of people don't realize they didn't escape the trap. They just changed the shape of it. As an employee, you had one job. Now you have 8. Sales, service, marketing, admin, invoicing, operations, customer support, problem solving. And if you're being honest, the business still depends on you way too much. Listen carefully to the language in this quadrant. If I want it done right, I have to do it myself. Nobody can handle clients like I can. It's hard to find good people. That mindset is understandable. It's also the reason people get stuck. The minute your business cannot function without you, you do not own a system. You own a demanding job with extra stress. This is bucket carrying with a nicer title. If you stop, the money stops. That dentist who closes the office for 2 weeks? The income goes on vacation too. Then comes the third box, business owner. This is where the game starts to change. A real business owner does not simply do the work. They build the machine that gets the work done. Think less about the charismatic founder and more about the system itself, the process, the team, the training, the software, the distribution, the structure. A true business can keep moving even when the owner steps away. Not perfectly, not instantly, but meaningfully. The language changes here. Who can run this? How do we improve the system? What process breaks if volume doubles? Who should own this responsibility? Notice what's missing. The owner is no longer the center of every task. That's the shift. If you stopped working next month, would your income collapse? If the answer is yes, you're probably still on the left side, even if you call yourself a founder. Business owners use something powerful, other people's time. One person has 24 hours in a day. A team of 15 multiplies that. A well-run company can create output far beyond what one talented individual could ever do alone. And the tax structure often changes too. Employees usually earn, get taxed, then spend. Businesses often earn, spend on legitimate expenses and growth, then pay tax on what's left. Same legal system. Different rules depending on the vehicle you're using. And finally, the fourth box, investor. This is the world of ownership. The investor uses capital to buy assets that produce cash flow, growth, or both. Stocks, real estate, businesses, bonds, private deals, different tools, same idea. Money is put to work so it can produce more money. Listen to how investors talk. What's the return? What's the downside? How strong is the cash flow? What's the entry price? An investor doesn't just ask, how much does it cost? They ask, what does this asset do after I own it? And the wealthy investor has another lever, other people's money. Banks, partners, lenders, institutions. Used carefully, that leverage can expand what one person's own cash could ever buy alone. That's also why the tax picture can look so strange from the outside. Borrowed money usually isn't taxed as income. Asset growth isn't always taxed until it's sold. Debt can create deductions. Reinvestment can delay tax exposure. So you end up with a strange reality. Someone working brutal hours at a high-paying job can lose a large share of their income to taxes right away, while someone who owns appreciating assets may legally keep far more of their economic gain. Same country, same laws, different quadrant. Now, knowing the map is one thing. Moving across it is another. Because the shift from left side to right side is not just tactical. It's emotional. It's identity level. It changes how you think, what you buy, how you spend weekends, what risks you tolerate, and what kind of discomfort you're willing to sit in. So let's make it practical. Here are 7 moves that matter if you want to stop carrying buckets forever. First, stop buying things that drain you and start buying things that feed you. Most people fill their lives with payments, car payments, subscription payments, furniture payments, gadget payments, credit card payments, bigger apartment, bigger house, bigger everything. Every month, money leaves their account to support stuff that produces nothing back. That's the trap. An asset puts money in your pocket over time. A liability takes money out. That doesn't mean you need to go buy an apartment building tomorrow. A small website that earns ad revenue can be an asset. A digital product can be an asset. A dividend-paying fund can be an asset. A small share of a business can be an asset. A channel, a newsletter, a tool people pay to use, all of that can count. The question to ask every time money leaves your account is simple. Will this keep costing me, or will this eventually pay me? Second, find someone who's already where you want to go. People try to learn money, business, and investing with pure trial and error, then wonder why progress takes years. If you wanted to climb a dangerous mountain, you'd get a guide. If you wanted to become an elite athlete, you'd get a coach. But with money, people let ego convince them they'll figure it out alone. That is expensive pride. A good mentor can save you years. Not because they make the work easy, but because they help you avoid stupid detours. Sometimes paying for one sharp hour of advice is cheaper than wasting 2 years making predictable mistakes. Third, avoid the lifestyle trap. This one catches almost everyone. You start earning more, so you upgrade. Better area, nicer car, more expensive habits, then maybe a mortgage, then family responsibilities, then school fees, then insurance, then maintenance, then pressure. And one day you realize something unsettling. Your income rose, but so did the cost of staying still. You didn't become freer. You became more expensive to maintain. So the next time you get a raise, pause before you upgrade your life. Ask yourself, am I improving my life, or am I enlarging the cage? Fourth, expect the emotional resistance. This is bigger than most people think. When you're used to earning money one way, your nervous system gets attached to it. Salary feels safe. Familiar clients feel safe. Monthly routine feels safe. Then you try to build a business, invest in something new, create content, make offers, or hire help, and suddenly you feel tension, doubt, and panic. That feeling does not automatically mean you're making a bad move. Often it means your identity is being stretched. The old version of you wants predictability. The new version requires uncertainty. So when resistance shows up, don't dramatize it. Name it and keep moving. This is the old wiring. This is discomfort. This is growth. Fifth, build systems, not just products. Most people obsess over the thing they're selling. The video, the course, the burger, the service, the design package, the product details. But wealth usually isn't built in the item itself. It's built in the machine around it. How do leads arrive? How are they converted? How is quality maintained? How is delivery handled? How do you train people? How do you make the result repeatable? A lot of small businesses stall because the owner created something good, but not something scalable. If your operation only works when you're personally pushing every part of it, you don't have a machine yet. You have effort, and effort has limits. Sixth, become a real investor before you try to become a big one. People love asking whether real estate is better than stocks, or whether gold is smarter than index funds, or whether one market is the secret. Usually that's the wrong question. The better question is, are you developing the skill to evaluate risk, return, time horizon, and behavior? Because weak investors can lose money in almost any asset class, and strong investors can do well across many of them. Think of it like levels. Some people spend more than they earn. Some save, but never invest intelligently. Some hand money to others and hope for the best. A serious investor starts taking responsibility, learning, testing, making small mistakes, reviewing decisions, building judgment. That's where maturity begins. And only after that should someone think about using bigger leverage or managing larger pools of capital. Make your early mistakes small enough to survive. That is how you stay in the game long enough to become dangerous. Seventh, your spare time tells the truth about your financial future. 2 people can have the same job, same city, same salary, same responsibilities. And 5 years later, they can be living completely different lives. Why? Because of what happens after work. One person gets home, eats, scrolls, watches clips, sleeps, repeats. The other gets home and spends an hour learning a high-value skill, or building a side offer, or studying deals, or publishing content, or reaching out to potential clients, or reading something that upgrades their thinking. It doesn't look dramatic in a single evening, but repeated over years, it changes everything. Your employer's job is to pay you for the role you perform. It is not their job to make you wealthy. That part is yours. So stop dividing life into work and rest. Think in 3 parts instead: the hours that pay the bills, the hours that build the future, and the hours that help you recover so you can do both again tomorrow. If the second category does not exist in your life, then no matter how hard you're working, you may only be maintaining the present. So let's come back to the question from the beginning. If your paycheck vanished on Friday, how many days would your life hold together? That's your real number. And once you're honest about it, the next question is even more important. Are you still carrying buckets, or are you finally building a pipeline? If this made you rethink the way you earn, save, or invest, drop a comment with the quadrant you're in right now: employee, self-employed, business owner, or investor. And if you want more videos that break down money, wealth building, and financial psychology in plain English, stick around for the next one.